Welcome to Ayurveda and Spirituality with your host, Alakananda Ma, a renowned Ayurvedic expert and a graduate of a top London medical school. She is the principal of Alundi Ayurveda Gurukula, a unique apprenticeship-style school in Boulder, Colorado. She is a spiritual mother, teacher, flower essence maker, and storyteller. Join us as we uncover the timeless principles of Ayurveda, discover practical tips for enhancing vitality, and explore the deeper dimensions of spirituality that intertwine with the ancient science of life.
Namaste, everyone. So, with this being the start of October, Breast Cancer Awareness Month, we're going to take a little time to look at a lifetime of breast health, trying to have a positive approach here. A woman's breasts are a lot more than mammary glands, therefore a lot more than nursing. Our breasts are a secondary sexual characteristic, something that contributes to beauty, attractiveness, and self-esteem. And that applies to all women, not only those of us who are endowed with large breasts, but also women with smaller breasts. Those breasts are equally much a secondary sexual characteristic and an important part of a woman's beauty. She may be a Vata woman. That is part of her beauty, part of her attractiveness, and key to her self-esteem. So whether you have larger or smaller breasts, breasts are key to your image of yourself, your sense of who you are. Our breasts are also an important part of our sexual arousal process. According to the Ayurvedic text Sushruta Samhita, the breasts are the root of the Shukravaha Srotas, the reproductive channels, the reproductive system. Sometimes we think that Shukravaha Srotas is only for men, and for women we have the separate Ativa Vahasrotas, but that's not really the case. Women are just so well endowed. Women have both Shukra and Artava. It's the Shukra Vahasrotas that enable women to have female ejaculation, one of the best kept secrets, and also just a whole arousal and orgasm is part of Shukravahasrotas, and breasts, as every woman knows, are key to arousal. So we want to feel good about our breasts. We want to appreciate our breasts. And yet, with as much as 250,000 new cases of breast cancer being diagnosed in this country every single year, our breasts can also be seen as a source of threat. I always tend to worry about this or feel concerned about this. On the one hand, yes, we should be doing breast self-exam so that we can catch any lump early on. And at the same time, we want to approach our breasts in a positive way as part of our beauty, our sexuality, our health, our nurturance, and not as this scary thing. So it's uh it's tricky because breast cancer is an extremely common cancer, and we do need to examine our breasts. Well, let's look at some tips and suggestions for breast health from an Ayurvedic standpoint. And first of all, a woman's reproductive system begins in the womb of her grandmother. That is where, in the womb of her grandmother, is where her mother's ovaries develop. And from that will come forth the woman that she is to be. So, uh, everything we can do to improve the health of women is going to contribute to reducing the amount of breast cancer. So in a way, breast health begins in the womb, indeed, in the grandmother's womb. But let's look at it from the viewpoint that breast health begins in early childhood, long before puberty. We need to have good ahar and vihar, good diet, good lifestyle when we are children, because that is needed for normal body weight. Childhood obesity has been skyrocketing, and childhood obesity in girls contributes to early menarche. And from early menarche, they will have an increased lifetime risk of breast cancer. So a typical Ayurvedic diet, a vegetarian diet that is high in fiber, will slow the onset of puberty. So that'll make an important contribution to our future breast health. So then it starts, breast buds begin to develop. I remember the year that I was no longer comfortable at the beach, just in some knickers. I had to have a swimsuit that covered my almost invisible breast buds, which I was extremely shy and modest about. As breast buds begin to develop and a girl enters her pubertal years, we want to be providing her with supportive herbs, such as our dear friend Shatavari. Shatavari is supposed to mean she who can take on 1,000 husbands, but it is a key herb for breasts and reproductive system, a key herb for a woman's puberty. One thing we like to make is shatavari kalpa, and you can do that by taking an ounce of shatavari and roasting it with 1 or 2 tablespoons of ghee. Use a cast iron pan for roasting it. Just roast it till it's just light brown. You don't want to burn it. Add a couple of tablespoons of turbinado sugar, 2 pinches of saffron, and a pinch of cardamom. That is the original recipe that we received here at Alandi, and we later have made a modified recipe of sugar-free shatavari kalpa for people that don't want to have any sugar or can't have any sugar. So you can make that recipe or you can get it from us. And a girl going through her pubertal years can take a teaspoon of this recipe twice a day to support healthy breast development. Shatavari is really good for the development of the breasts. So as we come into our reproductive years, what's going on is the breasts are undergoing these cyclical changes. That's what lends itself so much to just a little something has to go amiss, and we can end up with breast cancer. The breasts are undergoing cyclical changes. They increase in size during the second half of the cycle. So that is how we can develop fibrocystic breast disease as a result of these cyclical changes with the breasts, and also contributes to breast cancer. So what are some of our suggestions for breast health? We do suggest avoiding tight bras, avoiding bras with underwire, definitely avoiding wearing polyester, which is toxic on that part of your body. Natural fibers like silk, the luxury of a silk bra, natural fibers like silk or cotton. And we don't need to wear underwire. There are plenty of brands of nice supportive bras that even a larger breasted woman can be well supported without needing to put wire and other things that just disturb the energetic flow to the breasts. It's also recommended that we do a daily breast massage with strokes towards the axilla. The breasts won't massage themselves, although, running, jumping, hopping, and activities that jiggle the breasts are definitely going to help. But daily breast massage with strokes towards the axilla, with strokes towards the underarm area. That's going to increase blood flow to the breast. It's going to stimulate the lymphatic drainage. It's also very feel good because it enhances oxytocin production. So we do recommend that all women, all people who are born with natural breasts, do a daily breast massage. For tender or lumpy breasts, you can use castor oil, or you can use a mixture of castor, coconut, and flax oil. That mix, we call that CCF oil, castor, coconut, flax oil, not the same as CCFT, which is cumin, coriander, fennel tea, but it's another kind of CCF, castor, coconut, flax. The coconut will deal with the tender breasts. The castor oil will deal with the lumpy breasts, as will the flax oil. Or you can massage your breasts with castor oil if you have a tendency to more dense or lumpy breasts. I'm not talking about breast lumps, just breasts that tend to be more dense or lumpy. And you can use coconut oil when the breasts are very tender. For some women, the breasts become extremely tender during the premenstrual time, maybe even excruciatingly tender. Massaging them with coconut oil ever so gently can help. Remember, when we talk about lumpy breasts, we're not talking about breast lumps. They're two different things. A breast lump is something that you can feel when you palpate with the flat of your hand. When you're doing pinchy with your fingers, you might feel all kind of things that seem to be a lump but aren't really a lump. When you're examining your breasts, you're examining the breast with the flat of your hand and feel something. When you're examining with the flat of your hand, you want to show that to your primary care doctor as soon as possible. We can also use traditionally shatavari ghee. That is for a breast massage to increase breast size. For pregnant and nursing mothers particularly, do try to avoid using soap on the nipples. For those of us with a larger breast, we often like to use soap under the breasts, especially like a Chandrika soap, Ayurvedic soap, or a Mysore sandal soap, or some kind of medicinal soap, because sometimes we can get rashes under our larger, heavier breasts. On the other hand, the nipples are an area where we don't need to use soap. Soap is not going to be beneficial because the Montgomery glands in the nipples are producing a very important natural antibacterial substance, and the soap is going to destroy that. So listen to your body's wisdom. Your nipples are designed to take care of themselves. Don't soap your nipples. As we come into our post-menopausal years, the breasts gradually undergo regression. Yes, I know. When you're first in your menopause, one of my patients said, "My breasts have suddenly become double D." Because they can get bigger. But my mom said to me, "Enjoy them while you've got them," because they will undergo regression. Enjoy them while you've got them. So good for postmenopausal women. Continue daily breast massage and continue to take rejuvenative herbs that can support the health of our breasts. So you can still take that Shatavari Kalpa. You can take energy balls. This is the thing that I think I invented these energy balls, which are made from tahini, almond butter, honey, and two herbs, shatavari, which we talked about before, and another herb that's really great for breast health and really great for post-menopausal women, vidari. So you mix together a tablespoon of shatavari, a tablespoon of vidari, mix it in tahini and almond butter, honey. We use dry coconut flakes to roll those balls in. There are a lot of uses for energy balls. I think we first created them for one of our Ayurvedic teenagers who was undergoing what so many young men go through, the bean sprout stage of being very tall and long-limbed and spindly because the bones have grown, but the muscles haven't yet developed to match. So he wanted that recipe. We created that recipe in conjunction with some very gentle weight training because those teenage boys have to be so careful. But in conjunction with some very gentle working out to help get over the spindly stage. Well, energy balls are good for pretty much every age, and they definitely are a wonderful treat for post-menopausal women. So throughout our lives, we want to take care of our breasts. We want to love our breasts, hug our breasts, massage our breasts. Know that following a good diet is a huge contributor to breast health, knowing that having a regular daily exercise program is also a huge contributor to breast health. Having a positive attitude towards our breasts, and at the same time, as they say, trust God and tie your camel. Palpate your breasts regularly with the flat of your hand and go to the doctor right away if you notice a lump that you can feel with the flat of your hand. And yep, when breast cancer comes along, as it does for all too many women, that does involve the tragic moment of choosing to have a breast removed. And it's a huge loss, but it's worth it. It's worth losing your breast to save your life. It's a time of really hard choices, and that's the hard choice that has to be made. To lose the breast to save the life, we are very lucky that we live at this point in the 21st century when the results for breast cancer are better than they have ever been, and a diagnosis of breast cancer is no longer a death sentence. So we can think of breast health even if we have breast cancer. Just go along, have the surgery, do the recommended treatments. The studies are out there to show that the treatments work. But keep going with your Ayurvedic diet, your Ayurvedic lifestyle, all the things you do to support your health. The best way to have a lifetime of breast health is to have a lifetime of Ayurvedic diet, Ayurvedic lifestyle, and supportive herbs that are what we call svastivritakara herbs that are basically superfoods, like the shatavari and vidari that we mentioned, the superfood herbs that help maintain our normal health and do have an ongoing relationship with your Ayurvedic doctor because they will help you to maintain good health, which is a key to good breast health. Okay. Namaste.
Thank you for tuning in to Ayurveda and Spirituality with Alakananda Ma. We hope today's exploration has ignited a spark of curiosity and insight within you. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to leave us a 5-star review and share it with a friend. For more enlightening discussions and practical wisdom on Ayurveda and spirituality, subscribe and join our Facebook group, Alundi Ayurveda. To allow us to continue sharing valuable content, consider donating to Alundi Ashram. The links will be in the show notes. Until next time, may you walk the path of Ayurveda with grace and embrace the light of spiritual wisdom in your journey.
Trayambakam yajamahe Sugandhim pushtivadano